So yeah, I just wanted you to share a technique, maybe an NLP technique around kind of reframing and obviously kind of looking at overcoming a limiting belief.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Go
I
ahead.
think if you go back to the premise of emotion is energy in motion, right? And if we want to change the way we feel, we have to look at what emotion we're experiencing. One of the techniques that we have in NLP is you look at your limiting belief. You look at how do I want to feel? Because our body has cellular memory. It has cellular memory of an experience or a peak experience. And so, it's going back to when was the last time that you felt joy? When did you feel like you were the best version of yourself? When did you last feel happy? Or when did you last feel grateful? And going into that state, bringing yourself into that emotional state again, can then trigger off all of the neurology in your brain, can trigger off all the chemicals in your body, and you reset yourself on a cellular level. So, for example, I got really down about the fact that, I couldn't be home. I'm procrastinating, is that I just feel sluggish. And so I thought, when have I felt most active? And so I started to think about what does active look like to me? It looks like sunshine. When I last felt active is when I was at my handstand workshop. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to practice a handstand. I actually practiced what had brought me into a state of real activity. But you don't necessarily have to do that. I just went one step further, is you could just have that memory come to you. And you can just relive it almost. What did it taste like? What did it feel like? What did it smell like? What did it look like? What were you hearing? Who was with you? What were they wearing? And you can bring yourself into that state. You can also slightly merge it with manifestation. There's a whole side of it where you can then start to rewire your neurology into your dream state. So that becomes your reality, and it then becomes your reality in this dimension. And so I think that's one way, is just start with awareness. Am I feeling not as I want to feel? And how would I like to feel? What's my state at the moment, and what state do I want to be? And it's called future pacing. You future pace yourself into the state you want to be in by precisely, what it is that triggers you. And if you're kinesthetic, what do you need to feel on your skin? If it's smell that activates you, what do you need to smell? Go and smell your favorite perfume, or go and smell the perfume that you last wore when you were out on an amazing date, or having dinner, or somewhere that kind of activates that in your cellular memory. Or what do I need to eat? What food gives that to me? Bearing in mind, there's some food caveats that perhaps aren't so healthy. Or do I need to watch my favorite movie? I watched Top Gun the other day. I was like, you know what? I remember when I was a child and I watched Top Gun, and it just gave me all of those good feelings. And then I put the soundtrack on a few days later, and I was still in my Top Gun state, And so I would just recommend doing simple things like this.
That's brilliant, and that's very well explained. Thank you so much. There's NLP in action, very nicely explained, with a fast, with a pacing, and also obviously, seeing what you would see, hear what you would hear, feel what you would feel, and taking the that future pace to that, and obviously anchoring it with whatever it was at that time, or whatever that thought is to take you there. So thank you so much for sharing that, Suya.